Hello, hello, welcome to Mindset to Results. And today we have an amazing guest, Kate Gilbert. She's public coach and also she helps people to raise their confidence. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Elena. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your story, why you do what you do.
Yeah, of course. So I'm a public speaking coach. I've been doing it for about 7 or 8 years now. I started as an actor, so I trained as an actor. And in my very early 20s, I realized that I had a real problem with my confidence and that was really getting in the way of my acting and my ability to win auditions and get the interest of agents and other people. So I kind of went on quite a big journey with my confidence, trying to learn how do we create confidence when we don't feel it? Where does confidence come from? And how can we show up feeling confident, whether we innately feel like we are or we don't?
Amazing. Yeah, confidence is so important in every area of life. So, did you have experience of not having confidence that you overcame that and found the way how to improve and how it changed your life?
Yeah, I remember in my early days of acting, there was one occasion where I'd done a showcase and I'd got picked up by a big casting director at the time. She did well-known things like Coronation Street and Emmerdale. And she called me in. She said she was doing a big Christmas special with quite some really well-known actors. And she'd seen me in this showcase and thought I'd be perfect for one of the roles. It was kind of a supporting but still a leading role opposite the main character. So I went and got my hair done. I got my outfit and everything. I looked amazing. I showed up, but as I sat waiting to go in for this audition, I started having what I can only describe as a panic attack. I started thinking about, oh my God, everybody is going to see this. Elena, you still there? Sorry. All these thoughts started flooding my mind, and I just kept thinking, what if I can't do it? What if I get on set and I'm really intimidated by all the people around me and I just freeze? So I started to have this really shortness of breath. And when I went into the audition, I couldn't really speak. And it was kind of a really horrible experience because the casting director was a really well-known casting director, and she was looking at me like, oh my God, don't embarrass me in front of all these people. And I just about got through the audition, but I didn't get the audition, and I came out kind of thinking, oh my God, how am I going to be on set, amongst famous people and directors, and when there's all the pressure of everybody around you, how am I going to feel calm and confident? And so I took myself away and I enrolled in some courses. And one of the first courses I did was one called the Self-Expression of Leadership. And at the end, and the course was amazing, but at the end of the course, I still didn't feel like I was really confident. I didn't feel like I cracked it. And there was an open mic night at the end because it was a sort of a weekend residential. And one of the people on the course said to me, oh, why don't you sing a song or something? Because I'd been working on this song on the way up to the event. And I first of all just thought, no, I couldn't do it. No. And they said, but you've just done the self-expression and leadership course. So what excuse have you got? And so I didn't really have an excuse. And I got myself up there. It was a room of about 6 people. And I performed this song that I'd written. And afterwards, someone came up to me and said, oh my God, that was so beautiful. Like, it really resonated with me. Please go and share that song when you get back to Manchester. And I think that was the moment when my confidence started to change and it started to build, because what I realized from that experience was that it wasn't really about me, that it was about being of service. It was about what I could contribute and offer to other people. And so that when I went back to Manchester, I did sign up for another open mic. I performed the song again. And from that, someone in the audience came to me and said, could you come and perform at my event next week? And so I started to build up my confidence by doing it, by getting up on stage again and again, getting through my nerves, and getting nice supportive feedback for what I was doing.
Yes, amazing. As you told that confidence helps, it just helps us to increase our confidence when we don't think about ourselves, yeah, but focus is that not, oh, what is something wrong with me, or what is if I don't do that or this, but focus on the value which we get to people, is because there are people who might need this information. And even now what you do and helping people to be confident, it is again, there are so many people who need this, yes, to, because if people are not confident, they even don't think what is possible for them, right? They will not dream, they will not think about big things, achieving, setting and achieving big goals, because they will just lose before they start any game, because they don't have confidence. So it is really crucial to have that. So, how did you improve your confidence? Like, what did you do? Maybe you would like to share something that really helped you to overcome that feeling that you are not enough, or maybe that you don't have something enough, and came to that state that you are enough, that there is so much that you can share with people, there is so much you can do and impact other people's lives.
Yeah, I think I found around the same time I realized I had quite a busy mind, and I think we all have, most of us have quite a busy mind, and the thoughts that we have can be so negative. They can really, I used to put myself down all the time. As an actor, I would compare myself to everybody else around me. I wasn't thin enough, I wasn't attractive enough, my nose was the wrong shape, I wasn't interesting enough. All of these ideas that I had, these beliefs that I had about myself, and constantly comparing myself. And when I didn't get a job, as often you don't, there's a lot of rejection in acting. So then that would be another reason, that would be more evidence why I wasn't good enough. And it would kind of go on like that a lot. So I found, one of the first things I did was I found meditation. And what that did was it started to slow down the thoughts in my mind to a way that I started to get an awareness of the thoughts. And that's something that I work with my clients on very much now, is what are the thoughts that are going to come in before you do that thing that you're feeling really underconfident about, catching those thoughts and really asking, is that true? Like, is there evidence for that? And is that evidence correct? So that we can start to replace those thoughts as well with more positive thoughts. So things like, actually, I've got this far in life, or I've achieved these accolades, or whatever they are, and trying to remember good times where you have done something really well, and putting that into your mind instead of allowing all the little gremlin voices to take over and bring your confidence down and make you feel negative, because negativity is a really low level energy, and that will make you feel like, well, basically not confident. So what you want to do is try to get your energy high by feeding yourself with positivity, and that's so much easier to get to a stage, for example, and perform or stand in front of other people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so true. Everything is energy, and if people don't have the confidence, it feels, it's like they cannot do well, even if they have knowledge and potentially they can do a great job, but just
Mhm.
not having confidence will not let them in front of people, because people
Absolutely.
communicate not verbally. Yes, like uh, it is not what we say, but it is the energy we communicate at the subconscious level. And we can say whatever, but if we don't feel that way, people will feel that, like they will feel something weird, something not true, right? And this is what absence of confidence does. It just affects everything. It affects the business, because the
Mhm.
person can have so much knowledge, but if he is not confident, if he doesn't have that uh, that
Those beliefs.
self-esteem, yes, self-esteem,
Yeah.
that he has that value, that he is confidently can approach people, can get that value to people, it will not work. And it is everywhere in relations also, right? Like
Mhm.
people start getting doubt, self-doubt, and it is like a mud. Yes, like you just feel like you can just sink to it more and more, more and more. That's why it is very important to get help. If you feel that you need help, this is how it is important to get help and to connect with coaches, with mentors, people who listen to us. This,
I totally agree, Elena. It's really hard sometimes to be our own cheerleaders. And when I work with my clients, one of the first things I always do is I go, right, let's just write down everything you've done in the last 10 or 15 years, like all your brilliant accomplishments. Um, you know, one lady came to me the other week and she said, oh, I've got this certificate in something, and that's why I got chosen to do my job. And I was like, well, that's really interesting because that isn't why you got chosen to do your job, because lots of other people, although it's not that common, but lots of other people also took that certificate, but you're the one that got the job. So, you know, we often put ourselves down without realizing, and sometimes we need a coach just to pick up on those moments of like, that's not the truth. And what you're missing by focusing on that is that you're missing this whole part over here where you are the brilliance. So often we have to go back and look at all the reasons why they've been asked to do a talk, for example, why somebody else thinks that you're good enough. You know, when the lady, the casting director, saw me, she thought that I was good enough to go and audition and do that. And I absolutely was. The thing that wasn't helping me was just all the negative thoughts that I'd built up in my mind. Because if they weren't there, I could have got the job. I could have gone on and been a very successful actor. You know, my whole life could be completely different. But it's because I didn't have the confidence in myself then, and the negative thinking that really sabotaged. So it's so important to sometimes get someone just to help and to listen and just be a bit of a detective to your blind spots that you can't really recognize.
yeah, it is so true. As you said, that not having confidence can cause to so many losses in life, right? Like that
Mm,
something that could happen, it would not happen. And like one door opens, then another seven door opens. So we never know because we didn't open the door. So many other opportunities also got locked. And
absolutely. And it's like when I did started doing those first performances in Manchester at the open mic nights, and eventually someone asked me if I would host the event. And that only happened because I had been seen. I put myself out there and up there. I'd been seen that somebody asked me, would you come and host this event? And I think I said to you earlier in the call, this weekend I host an event to 200 people, sometimes 600 people. And I absolutely love doing that now. And I have the confidence, like I'm so excited to get up on stage and do that. But that's only happened because I went through those uncomfortable stages at the beginning of still getting myself up on the stage.
mhm. Yes, yes. Like have the fear and do it anyway. Yes, because by doing this, overcoming that fear, this is how we can see. Yes, it was not such a difficult. Yes, it was not so scaring. Is by doing this, overcoming again and again those limiting beliefs. This is how we grow. And as you said that people outside, they were seeing your potential, but you didn't see it yourself, right? So our limited beliefs, they are like viruses. It is not real. It is not that you don't have that potential. It is not that you are not good enough. This is just
Mhm.
thought. Yes, and it is so important to understand that we have to catch those thoughts at the level of thoughts. Yeah, because if we don't catch them, if we are not aware, the thoughts will grow and they will get other thoughts and they will get other thoughts, and we it all will just go get us to wrong direction, right? But if we have that awareness of what is going inside of our mind, and we if we can observe the thoughts, okay, these are my thoughts, or even we can get to the thoughts from feelings, right? Because feelings always come from the thoughts. So if we don't feel well, yes, if we don't feel confident, or if we have all these feelings, maybe anxiety or stress, we always can go to thoughts and say, and think what thought I had that it made me feel this way, and how can I change the thought to empowering one. Yes, and become make it automatic instead of having negative thoughts automatic, because we have those negative thoughts automatic because we just repeat them again and again, even unconsciously. And if we start consciously putting attention, what thought, another thought I want to replace this one, this is how we can create new automatic patterns which will empower us to do better.
Absolutely. Yeah. It really is about grabbing those negative thoughts. I mean, another thing that happens obviously with the body is that our mind is trying to keep us safe. So if we've had an experience perhaps in childhood, and a lot of my clients come to me and they've had negative experience of speaking up in class or something, like being ridiculed or laughed at in class, and it we don't realize that it creates neural pathways in our brain. So the next time we're asked as an adult to go and stand up in front of people, this pathway is still active. It lights up in our brain and we start to get nervous and think that the same thing might happen again, even though the reality is that we're much older now, we've got all this experience, we've got the knowledge, we've got people who want to hear it. So those things can get triggered. So it's often, to really be aware that we have to get through those and get past those as well, and kind of be really clear on what the reality is of this situation in order to get through it.
Yes, because this all what happened in our childhood, it didn't go anywhere. It stayed in our body and it created certain patterns of habitual behavior. Yes,
Yeah,
even if we look at. Mhm.
it creates those beliefs that we can't do this. And so often the nerves come up because our brain is trying to protect us from doing something that it thinks is going to be bad for us, but it's actually wrong. So we have to deal with the nervousness, do some deep breathing, find other ways, do a warm up. Things like that will help you to get yourself to the stage, because it's almost like you've got to recreate a neural pathway and a new relationship and attachment to that experience as an adult that is different from the one that you had as a child. So that is about, sometimes finding a coach or finding a way to make sure that your presentation is good, that you're saying all the things that are going to work for your audience. And then maybe doing a meditation in the morning. I usually recommend a warm-up, physical and vocal warm-up, to get the nervous energy out and just manage to get yourself to the place where you can deliver. And then afterwards think, okay, how did it go? Well, some things may have not gone that well, but focus on the things that went well and start to build them up over time. And then you will start to build your confidence, because you're not going to get confidence from reading a book or sitting at home and thinking about it. It comes from action. So it's finding small actions that you can take and building them up over time.
Yes, and as you said, acknowledge yourself for what you did already, because people sometimes they have goals and they so hard on themselves. They just think about what they didn't do or what they didn't do right, and they beat themselves up, and then they find themselves depressed and anxious. So this all can be prevented if we have a different perception on our achievements and acknowledge things which we did already. If we compare where we were 1 year ago and where we are now, what we already achieved, what we changed already, how we grew up, yes, in our personal development. If we start celebrating even small wins, yes,
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah.
it is important, even small win, but if we have every evening before we go to bed, we can think what I can celebrate today, what I did well. Yes, instead of thinking what I didn't do, what I had to do and didn't do right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think the reason why that is so important is that celebrating something makes us feel good and it raises our vibration. So as we were talking about earlier, it's about having a higher vibration will help us when we get on stage, because our audience they're gonna feed on our energy. So if our energy is low, they're going to start to feel low as well, and they're not going to be as engaged. So if we can get our energy high by celebrating ourselves, like you say, at the end of every day, we're going to start to, our brain is going to be much more positive. than it would be if we're kind of fixated and focused on the things that aren't going well, or that we didn't quite finish the to-do list, or whatever it is. So I think the mindset is really important in order to become more confident. I think that's really where it starts.
Yes, and everything that people want to do and want to achieve, it is all possible because there is no limitation, and all the limitations just are in our mind. Yes, so when
Mhm.
we learn how to replace those limiting beliefs about ourselves, how to change our attitude, it will help us to be successful. And there is no limit. Yes, there is no limit to personal achievement. And we can create that new self image, like you can see yourself as you are enough, that you are confident person, you are successful person. And start every day with some good affirmations that make you feel good. Yes, as you said, that to do something that put you in good energy, that you are happy about your body, you are grateful about your uh, eyes, about your ears, hands, like whatever you have. Yes, to be in that grateful state and be grateful what you have, who you are, for the beautiful body that God gave you. Yes, like so many things we can be grateful for. And when we're grateful, we get in that good state. And also it helps with confidence, because we cannot be grateful and worried, yes, at the same time, or grateful and scared at the same time. So when we choose to be grateful, we're grateful, right? So, and if we do everything from that the place of being grateful, this will help us to improve our confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, it's small, it's find a small thing you can do. You know, it might just be saying hello to a stranger in the park as you go past. You know, it's about getting used to speaking to strangers or people that you don't know. You know, look, make eye contact with someone in a cafe when you get your coffee. It's kind of start from where you are. You know, if we kind of think, oh, I want to get to a huge stage, I want to do a TED talk or something like that, but you haven't even done as headed a meeting yet or spoken up in a meeting, then that's going to completely crash your confidence, because to think about a leap from not even speaking up in a meeting to doing a TED talk is huge. And nobody comes to me and goes, right, I've never spoken before, but I'm going to do a TED talk in 3 weeks' time. It's like, it doesn't happen. I'd be like, okay, let's go back to, let's find small opportunities and start saying yes to them. So often people miss opportunities because they think that they can't do it. Like you say, everyone can do, we can all do things if we set our mind to it. Absolutely. Um, so the thing to do is start saying yes, because people often say no to opportunities because they think they haven't done it before and they can't do it, or they're too scared, or it makes them feel nervous. If it makes you feel nervous, great. That means lean into it, go and do it, find a way, find your way to it, and show up, because those little bits, the confidence is on the other side of your action. It isn't before. You're going to build up, but build up slowly, you know. So when you get an opportunity to say, oh, can you lead this meeting? Yes, absolutely, even if you feel scared, because the next time they might see you and go, do you know what, you did that meeting so well, can you just talk to this new client, or can you do this pitch, or can you stand on stage in front of 30 people and just talk about our product? And each of those things, you're going up and up and up and up until you're ready for your TED talk, or your, you know, thousand people conference, or whatever it is, or whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is. But it is absolutely about starting small. We can't think to do massive leaps, because that's way too much pressure. So it's just about building up, and the confidence comes. It's like when we start learning to ride a bike, at the beginning, we're kind of, you know, we're falling off, we're crying, but we keep getting back on the bike until we find balance. And then we work with that for a bit. And then when we've really got that, we can start speeding up and down hills and things like that. But we build up. The confidence isn't there when we first get on the bike, but it's there at the end.
Yes, exactly. And uh, who you are, it is not even what you think about who you are. Yes, it is just what you were told who you are. So everything is possible, and you can become whoever you want to be if you are willing to learn, and uh, if you're willing to get new thoughts come to your life. Yes, if you're willing to replace your limiting beliefs, like step into unknown, and you can just be anybody you want to be, and change that story which you were told when you were young, who you are, and this is how you think, what is possible for you and what is not possible for you. But if you come from the perception that everything is possible, and it is you who, because you're already adult, you're not a child who were told who you are, right? But you are adult now, and if you just leave everything what you heard about yourself, if it is negative in the past, and come every day like, what I can do today, who I can become today, like, yeah, I can become anybody I want. And as you said, if opportunity comes, say yes and see what you can do to be that person. Yes, because you can be anybody. It means that you can accept any opportunity if you like, if it is aligned with your talents, gifts, and your goals, and then just find the person who can help you to become that person who is already there. Right, this is how important to have mentor, to have coach, because you can be anybody, and there are so many coaches and great mentors who can take you there because they already are there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's that thing of sometimes we don't have all the knowledge, and that's fine. But our brains are machines that look for solutions. Always trying to, what's the solution to this? So I'm like, if you give me a problem, I'm like, brilliant. Let me take this apart. Let me figure it out, because I trust that my brain is naturally going to try and find the answer to this. So whether that is that, someone says, can you do this assignment, or can you do this talk? You sit down and give yourself permission, first of all. Like, don't let your brain go, I can't do this, I don't know how to do it, oh my God, this is going to be awful. Don't start visualizing yourself standing up there doing it and shaking and being all mumbly, because that's taking away the spontaneity, the creativity to come through you. And just see what you can create, first of all, and then ask yourself at the end if you did a good job. But
Yes.
I think it's, yeah, allow your brain to find a way, and whether that is, finding a coach to help you, or just going with your own creativity to see what you can come up with first. It's all possible.
Yes, it is all possible when you believe. Yes, so
Yeah.
believe in yourself and believe in the universe, which always will support you if you do what you can do, if you do your part. The universe, this universal intelligence, is always there to support you. And when you accept the offer, if you jump into the opportunity, you get to different frequency, right? Like, it is all about making decision. When
Mhm.
you make decision, you already there, so you don't have to hesitate, should I do that or should I not do that. Yes, so if you create that habit to make decision fast based on your intuition, because your intuition is so strong, and it always speaks to you from your higher self. It is already knows your higher self, because there are unlimited numbers of your higher self already exists, and from decisions which you make today, you choose which one you will be tomorrow, right? So your intuition always speaks with you from already your future higher self. And if you develop your intuition, you always can follow it and make decisions based on what it is. If you feel strongly, yes, this is for me, just don't think why you cannot do that. Just jump to that, because when you make decision, your frequency changes, you get to the channel as it is already done. Yeah, is if and you start thinking, feeling, and acting as it is already done, and this is how your energy will shift, and you never know where it will get you. It means that you can meet people, you can get different situation which will lead you to that. But if you wouldn't make decision, if you would just doubting, oh, shall I do it or shall I not, and if you do it long, your brain will put you not to do it, because you just will be captured in that logic part instead of coming from your full potential. So it is very good to make this habit, to listen to intuition, jump to the opportunity, say yes, find people who can help you, and grow always go out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, when you say find people who can help you, sometimes when you say yes and you commit to something, like truly commit to it, like, yes, I'm doing this, don't worry about how you're going to get there because things show up. I did when I was younger, I did a lot of creative projects. I used to write plays. And I remember winning a competition, and it was like, okay, you can put your play on at this festival. I was like, brilliant. Oh my God, how do I do my marketing? Who's going to direct it? Where do I get the actors? How do I find them? And then people were just coming in going, oh, I know someone. Or someone would come up to me and go, oh, here you're doing a play. I'd love to direct it. I had this incredible director. And it all came together. And within that as well, my confidence naturally built because I suddenly started going into a leadership role without even knowing that that's what I would get from it. But I had to orchestrate this whole thing. I had to talk to all these different kind of people and pull things together and make it happen. And that in itself grew my confidence. And just again, that trusting, that experience of doing something and knowing that I could trust that it would come together and things would happen and it would have a great outcome, also built my confidence. But if I hadn't even put my play in the first place, if I'd sat there with it in my drawer going, oh, it's not that good, I don't think anyone will like it, none of that would have happened. My confidence would still be, with that script in the drawer.
Yes, exactly. It is a secret. If people who are watching us or listening to us see the movie Secret, yes, where Bob
Oh,
Proctor
yeah.
and other people who created huge success, they shared this, that there are some laws, and the law of attraction, and there is also the law of vibration, that is primary law, and the law of attraction is secondary law. So this is all about energy. So when we decide on something and we get to different energy, we start vibrating different, and this is how we start attract different people. If we don't make the decision, we are just sitting doubting, there will be different energy and nobody will be attracted to us, who will be attracted and in the different frequency. It is like the phone. If I want to call you, I should dial exactly those numbers, right? To get
Mhm.
my phone in the same frequency with yours. Because every phone has its own number. It means its frequency, right? Even if I dial one number different, I will not get. I will not connect with you, right? So,
Mhm.
and there are unlimited number of frequencies, so it is always level up and level down. And by jumping into new opportunities, by being open minded, by making decision, this is how we flip to that frequency where this opportunity already exists, and this is how we start attracting everything which is transmitted in the channel. It is like radio. Yes, we cannot uh, turn on am and waiting to receive programs which are transmitted at FM, right? There are
Mhm.
different channels, so different programs are at AM. So if we are in this level of frequency, we will meet different people, we will meet the same situations. If we don't move, if we don't do anything uncomfortable, anything new, we will continue being in this range where we are, right? And
Yeah.
we cannot attract anything new. The only way to jump to different frequency, to different channel, and start attracting things which we really want in life, this is to jump. And this jump, it doesn't happen itself. We have to take courage sometimes, yes, to think bigger, to dream bigger, to have different beliefs that this is possible. Because
Mhm.
people who do like 10 times better uh, than we do, it means not because they are 10 times better, it is because they see themselves as that is their natural life. This is what is their standards, right? That's why we have to have our own standards and see beyond what is now real, because our reality built on our beliefs in the past, our decisions made in the past. This is why we are here. So if we want different results in life, we should come from that place. Yes, from this acting technique, act as if, right? If you
Yeah.
already are that person.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that I teach a lot from my acting background as well when I teach in workshops. And I play this lovely game where I host a party and I give everybody different numbers. So we're all on the confidence scale at different levels. So some people are at like 9, 10. Some people are still quite low at 1 or 2. Um, and so I give them the cards and I give the people who seem to have lowest confidence, I give them a really high number. And the people who got really high, I give them a low number. And then I get them to come into the party in that level of confidence. And what's interesting is that they all manage to do it. So even if someone is a level 3 confidence naturally, they come in at a level 9. They manage to do it. And afterwards, I say to them, how was it being a level 9? They were like, oh my God, it was so different. Like people wanted to talk to me. I had all these conversations. Like it was just a completely different experience of being at a party. And I always say, and as an actor, I know that I can put on any character because I've learned how to do it. And so many actors, they've learned how to put on a character, how to change your energy, your mindset, how to change your physicalization, your voice to become a different character. Or in a scene, you might be a completely different emotion, or you come into different scenes with different energy levels and different confidence levels. So we learn that. We can all learn how to be a different confidence or energy level. And sometimes it absolutely is fake it till you make it, because if you say to yourself, it's like, I don't know about you, Elena, but when it's my birthday, I'm suddenly the happiest person in the world. My energy completely changes for a whole day. And I sometimes think, what if everybody just went in, like it's their birthday every day? They'd be going into the coffee shop saying, hi, how are you doing? It's my birthday today. Just we can put on a different confidence all the time. And it's absolutely worth putting it on, trying it out at a networking event, go into a coffee shop, wherever you want to try it, in the office for the day, and just see the reaction that you get back. And it's that thing as well of moving up the frequencies. When you put yourself out there and people are more drawn to you because you're more open and your energy is more positive, they want to be around you, and you start to move up the levels naturally. But sometimes we do have to fake a little bit until we make it. So that's one exercise that I usually do with my clients or my workshops. And I can see the light bulbs going on in people. And they're like, oh, I can just put my shoulders back a bit and walk tall and make eye contact as I walk in. And I get completely different response. And actually it feels good. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's a really useful thing to try out.
Yes, yes, amazing exercise that people do it as a game, but if they do it and become conscious about that, just present themselves and just be that person, and if
Mhm.
they do it again and again, this is how they become a new personality, right? I like how Joe Dispenza says that in order to create new reality, you need to create new personality. Yes, because we
Yeah.
cannot create new reality by being the same person, because the reality is just reflection of what goes inside of us. So if we want new reality, we have to become new personality. And this is all these techniques which you mentioned. These are how we do that. Acting as if actor technique. It is such a great technique. And there is a book, Stella Adler, who was teaching these techniques. It is a good book to read and just learn how we can play different personality roles, and then we can create our own script, the person who we meant to be, the person who we want to be, and become that person by practicing and visualizing us and thinking and feeling, acting as that person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think visualization is really useful as well. And actually, our imagination can't often tell the difference between what's real and what isn't. So if you visualize or imagine yourself doing the thing you're scared of, but doing it without the fear that you have attached to it, and doing it in the most positive, easiest way, seeing yourself up, whatever you're doing, if you're on stage, you're confident, you're smiling, people in the audience are laughing, you're going to start to program your mind into that vision. So I think visualization is a really powerful tool that everybody should be using.
Exactly, and our subconscious mind doesn't determine the difference between imagined and reality. And if we do it in our mind, visualizing something before we do it physically, it will
Mhm.
help us to program our subconscious mind to the same exact outcome. This is how all Olympic champions do.
Yeah.
Before they go to game physically, they see themselves standing and holding that gold reward, or yeah, whatever they want to get, because they do it so many times in their mind
Yeah.
first before even they go and participate in competitions.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that also, I think, we can't all win the gold medal. We could all be visualizing that we're winning the gold medal. We're not all going to win it. But it makes a difference how we show up, what we've got in our mind and what we've visualized before. So we can't all be winners, but we can be winners in our own life. We can compete and we can do things outside of our comfort zone. And then afterwards reflect and go, do you know what? Like, if I hadn't have tried to do it, or if I hadn't said yes to it in the first place, I wouldn't have even done that. So it's again coming back to that: celebrate yourself, celebrate the fact that you did something outside of your comfort zone. And the other thing that over time it gets easier. When I was 20 and I remember doing a radio interview and being interviewed as an actor, and I couldn't speak. It was live on radio and I said nothing. There was this massive radio silence because I was so terrified, you know. But now, if I'd have thought then, oh, in 15, 20 years' time, you're going to be up on stage in front of 600 people confidently presenting and hosting an event, I would have been like, oh, I can't see it. I don't know how that could happen, from where I was. But now it's not even scary. I just jump up there and I'm happy. I'm excited to be there. So you can completely change your beliefs that you have over time just by taking small actions and building up.
Yes, yes, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and also how you help people to raise their confidence. And if it would be one advice which you would like to share with people who are listening to us, what it would be?
I think just really be aware that confidence is on the other side of action and that it's about saying yes. So when our mind comes in and tries to sabotage us and say, oh, that's not something I could do, it might be that you've just never done it before, but it's still definitely something that you can do. So say yes, be aware of the limiting beliefs in your mind, the sabotaging thoughts that are trying to keep you safe, but based on past from your childhood or a negative experience. But now we're adults, we've got this, we can do it. So just say yes and then allow the universe to show you the way.
Thank you so much, Kate. And
Thank you,
I'm
Elena.
looking forward to meet you again for our future episodes.
Yes, me too. It'd be wonderful.
There are a lot of things which we can share with our guests.
Absolutely.